The American military just made a game-changing decision that's rattling the entire firearms industry. They've officially signed off on a brand new combat round for frontline troops, and it's not the one most folks have been arguing about. While shooters everywhere have debated whether we need heavier bullets for knockdown power or lighter ones for mobility, military brass took a different route entirely. They picked something that rewrites the entire rulebook. This isn't a slight update to existing gear. It's a full-on revolution in how American soldiers deliver firepower. We're talking about a new breed of cartridge, built from the ground up for the harsh realities of 21st century warfare. What follows is my take on what this new round really means. Not just from headlines, but from real-world experience having been on the range. Followed the doctrine shifts and tracked the technology from prototype to field-ready weapon. Let's break down the new caliber that's poised to reshape modern combat. The big reveal, 6.8 by 51 mm, also known as 277 Sig Fury. Here it is. The round that's just been cleared for duty is the 6.8 by 51 mm, also known in the civilian world as the 277 Sig Fury. And no, this isn't 300 Blackout, and it sure isn't some obscure wildcat cooked up in a custom ammo lab. This is the real deal, a purpose-built cartridge with serious battlefield potential. We're looking at a 140-grain bullet moving at around 3,000 feet per second. That translates to close to 2,800 foot-pounds of energy at the muzzle. To put that in perspective, your typical 5.56 NATO round generates about 1,300 foot-pounds, less than half the punch. But what really sets this round apart is the pressure it runs at 80,000 pounds per square inch. That's not a typo. Most rifle rounds tap out around 60,000. To make this work, the engineers built a hybrid case steel at the base, brass around the body. The steel keeps the case from blowing out under pressure, while the brass allows for consistent, clean extraction. That's not just clever, it's essential. Without that combo, you couldn't push this kind of performance without wrecking the chamber or beating the bolt to death. Long reach, heavy hits. Range-wise, this cartridge changes the game entirely. It holds lethal energy well past 600 meters, and it still hits harder at 1,000 yards than the 5.56 does at half that distance. That's not an upgrade, it's a redefinition. You're no longer limited to medium-range contact. You're engaging targets with stopping power at distances most infantry rifles never dreamed of. This isn't just about a new bullet. It's about changing how fights unfold in the field. Troops will have the power to shut down threats before they get close enough to be dangerous. It's a new kind of dominance: reach, impact, and reliability, all in one. Why ditch the 5.56 NATO? So why walk away from the old standard, the 5.56 NATO? It's simple. It no longer meets the needs of today's battlefield. We're not just facing insurgents in light clothing anymore. We're up against near-peer adversaries who wear level 3 and level 4 body armor. Against that kind of gear, 5.56 just doesn't cut it. Unless you're lucky or land a dozen-round center mass, you're not getting through. Field reports kept coming back with the same message. American troops were getting outranged and outmatched. They needed too many hits to drop an armored target. That's not a shooter problem, it's a failure in terminal effectiveness. The 5.56 was designed for a different era, short-range jungle fighting, where lightweight rounds and volume of fire ruled. But modern combat needs something else: overmatch. That means outranging, outpenetrating, and outhitting your opponent in every measurable way. That's exactly what the 6.8 by 51 mm does. It gives you speed, punch, and the ability to break through armor at extended range, even past 600 meters. So instead of dumping magazines trying to get a stoppage, now a trained shooter can end a fight with 1 or 2 hits. This isn't about putting more lead in the air, it's about making every round count. How it measures up against existing rounds. Let's compare this new cartridge to what we've already got. First, the old faithful 5.56 NATO. It's been in service since Vietnam light recoil, easy to carry, and allows for high ammo loads. A 62-grain M855A1 round weighs about 12 grams, and recoil lands in the 4 to 5 foot-pound range. That means a soldier can carry 7 full 30-round mags with no problem. Then there's the 7.62 NATO. It packs a lot more energy, about 2,400 foot-pounds, from a 147-grain projectile. But each round weighs about 25 grams, and recoil jumps to around 18 foot-pounds. That adds up fast in both weight and fatigue. So where does the 6.8 by 51 land? Right in the sweet spot. It weighs the same as 7.62, but pushes out nearly 2,800 foot-pounds of energy, while keeping recoil closer to 15 foot-pounds. It kicks more than 5.56, sure, but it's absolutely manageable with good training. Yes, the new XM7 rifle runs smaller mags, usually 20 or 25 rounds, but each shot hits so much harder, you simply don't need to pull the trigger as often. This shift moves the fight from quantity to quality, hitting hard, hitting fast, and finishing the job in fewer rounds. Range-wise, it's no contest. 5.56 starts running out of steam past 300 meters. 7.62 NATO holds up until around 800 meters, but 6.8 by 51 millimeter? It remains lethal beyond 600 and stays supersonic even farther out. What it means for the warfighter. This new cartridge doesn't just tweak some stats, it fundamentally transforms how ground troops operate in combat zones. Picture this. You're a team leader and catch movement half a click out. If you're running 5.56, your instinct is to suppress and maneuver, hoping to close the gap. But with the 6.8 by 51 millimeter, you don't hesitate. You line up, take the shot, and you know it's going to hit with authority, still packing fight, stopping punch at that distance. That flips the entire approach on its head. You're no longer dumping rounds to gain control, you're making each shot count with precision that wins the fight faster. Now toss in the new generation of suppressors, factory standard on these rifles. The benefits? Less flash, quieter reports, and cleaner communications across the squad. It also makes it much harder for the enemy to figure out where your fire is coming from, which in a real firefight can be the difference between dominance and disaster. Then there's the XM1 5.7 optics system. Don't call it a scope, it's a full-blown digital fire control unit. It ranges targets, corrects for wind and drop, and factors in temperature and air pressure. It's like strapping a ballistic calculator and a sniper-trained spotter right onto your rifle. Paired with the ballistics of the 6.8 cartridge, it gives troops the tools to land solid hits far beyond what we used to think of as rifle distances. Even though the troops are carrying fewer total rounds, those rounds do more work, less volume, more outcome. Sure, recoil is stiffer, but with proper training, it's absolutely controllable. And when troops see what this round does to armor at 600 yards and beyond, they don't want to go back. There's also the confidence factor. When a soldier knows their rifle can punch clean through plates and hit hard before the enemy can return fire, that belief turns into battlefield initiative, and that's what wins engagements. New platforms, new doctrine. This isn't just a caliber swap dropped into old rifles, it comes with an entirely new generation of weaponry engineered to withstand the extreme pressures this round creates. First up, The M7 rifle, designed to replace the M41. This is a short-stroke piston-driven system built from the ground up to tame 80,000 pounds per square inch. This isn't your dad's direct impingement rifle. It ships standard with an integrated suppressor and features controls familiar to anyone used to the AR platform, which keeps the learning curve shallow. Then there's the M250 light machine gun, replacing the long-serving M249. This new belt-fed beast slings the 6.8 round with authority past 600 meters and features weight savings and recoil dampening tech to help gunners stay on target. It's not just for laying down covering fire anymore, it delivers precision support at distance with serious punch. But new gear is only half the equation. The training pipeline is undergoing a major overhaul. Ranges on Army posts are being extended out past 1,500 meters. We're no longer just talking about bursts at 100 yards now, it's precision marksmanship beyond one click. And soldiers are learning how to operate advanced optics, manage ballistic software, and integrate rangefinders and sensors into every engagement. Shooting is no longer about pulling a trigger, it's about running a data-driven weapon system. Today's infantryman isn't just a rifleman, he's the operator of a precision combat platform. And that shift is already making troops deadlier, more effective, and more confident in the field. How it's hitting the civilian market. Every time the military adopts something new, civilian shooters sit up and take notice. The commercial version of this cartridge, the 277 SIG Fury, is already hitting shelves. And let me tell you, it's a monster. With a 140-grain projectile clocking around 3,000 feet per second, this round carries serious, long-range energy. You want a cartridge for punching steel at 1,000 yards or dropping elk at extended ranges. This is it. Hunters especially are watching closely. The 6.8 offers flat trajectory, high retention of energy, and terminal performance that makes traditional hunting calibers start to look dated. It gives you the ethical power to drop big game like moose or boar even from 500 or 600 yards out. But here's the catch. This is premium grade stuff. The hybrid case design, steel base with brass body, makes reloading complex and drives up production cost. This isn't just another 308 clone. Right now, availability is limited to a few rifles like bolt actions and SIGs, cross series chambered in 277 Fury. Reloaders can work with it, but you need specialized tools and knowledge to handle the steel components safely. Still, as military contracts scale up, civilian options will expand. More rifles, more load variations, and better pricing are all on the horizon. If hybrid case tech catches on, we might be looking at the future blueprint for all next-gen ammo design. Mythbusting the 6.8. Let's clear up some nonsense, because the internet is full of bad takes on this cartridge. Here's the truth from someone who knows the real-world side of shooting. Myth 1. Smaller caliber equals weaker round. Nope. While the 6.8 by 51 sounds smaller than 7.62 NATO, it hits harder, more muzzle energy, faster velocity, and significantly better penetration. And it's definitely not a step down from 5.56. It's in another league. Myth 2. This is just recycled World War II tech. Not even close. While the bullet diameter may resemble older hunting rounds, this cartridge runs at pressures most older ammo couldn't dream of. The hybrid case, high side threshold, and fire control integration make this a thoroughly modern solution. My 3. We didn't need a new round. Go ask troops who dumped entire mags of 5.56 into enemies wearing ceramic armor and saw them keep fighting. This wasn't a theoretical problem, it was real and persistent in combat zones. Myth 4. It's too heavy to carry enough ammo. Sure, each round is heavier, but that's not the point anymore. You're not trying to blanket a target area, you're landing precise hits that matter. Fewer rounds, greater effect. That's the doctrine now. Bottom line, this cartridge answers a very real capability gap that's existed for years. It's not a gimmick or an overreaction, it's the natural next step in battlefield dominance. As threats evolve and combat ranges stretch, the 6.8 by 51 millimeter is the tool American troops need to stay ahead of the curve and stay alive. Looking ahead, a new era of small arms. The 6.8 by 51 millimeter isn't just a new cartridge, it's the spark that could ignite a full-blown overhaul of modern military small arms. Right now, the United States Army is leading the charge, but make no mistake, the rest of the Department of Defense is watching very closely. If this round performs as advertised in real-world combat, it's only a matter of time before other branches begin rolling it out too. But one major hurdle remains: NATO interoperability. For over 4 decades, the 5.56 NATO round has served as the common thread tying Allied logistics together. Shared ammunition, standardized magazines, and a global supply chain made coalition warfare simpler. But the 6.8 throws a wrench in that system. Its hybrid case construction and 80,000 pounds per square inch pressure requirement mean you can't just run it through existing production lines. It demands a completely different infrastructure, one that most NATO partners simply don't have yet. So now, Allied forces face a crossroads: continue relying on legacy cartridges, or invest in their own high-pressure hybrid solutions. This could mark the beginning of a next-generation arms race, not in numbers, but in ballistics. On the civilian side, this shift is already rippling out. Long-range shooters, hunters, and competition marksmen are keeping a close eye on the 277 SIG Fury. The performance is undeniable, and as military demand drives production scale, we can expect to see more rifle options, a broader variety of factory loadings, and eventually, yes, lower costs. But the real game changer here isn't just this one cartridge, it's the hybrid case tech itself. Once manufacturers figure out how to mass-produce these dual metal cases efficiently, we might start reimagining classic calibers altogether. Think about giving old standbys like 243 Winchester or 308 new life, pushing higher velocities, flatter trajectories, and better terminal ballistics without changing the bullet profile. In short, this isn't just a round for today's battlefield. It's the opening move in what could become a complete reinvention of rifle ammunition as we know it. So here's where I'll leave you. Is this round truly the future of infantry arms, or just one milestone on the road to something even more advanced? Would you run this caliber in your own rifle, or do you think proven warhorses like the 308 still deserve their place on top? If this breakdown gave you a clearer picture of what's coming down the pike, give us a like, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe here at Firearms Zone for more no BS deep dives into weapon systems, ballistics, and tactical innovation. Until next time, keep training, keep thinking, and stay ready. This is Gun Fanatics, signing off.